Before I had surgery, I weighed 257 pounds. Now I weigh 165, so I'm 2 pounds from 100 pounds. But I felt very sometimes depressed, very down, sometimes sad. I still had that happy part about me, but it was still when I came home behind closed doors, I was a little bit sad. And then after my surgery, all happy. I still had a very good relationship as far as people around me, very supportive, but I couldn't do as much. I didn't get out as much. I could go places, but was always worrying about what people thought about me. I felt like people thought about me as a very large person, a fat person, someone struggling, like, why is she eating that? Why is she trying to do this? Why is she trying to walk up the stairs? You know what I mean? I would be very paranoid when I walk up the stairs and someone's behind me. That's how I would think that people are portraying me as a very large fat person. I was very self-conscious about what I ate, especially when we went out in public. Like when me and my husband would go out, I'd be very embarrassed to order certain things because I'm thinking that waiter or that waitress is thinking, does she really need those foods? I do think that people judge me when I first met them because your appearance is the first thing that they see. But I do think that once they get past that appearance and see my personality, I think they kind of get past it. When I looked in the mirror before surgery, I could not stand to look at myself. I seen a very large person. No one ever close to me ever told me I was getting large. It was just always, you had a pretty face. I thought that maybe people was just trying not to hurt my feelings, but I know that they thought, she's really gaining weight. She's really getting large. When we went to the beach, I didn't want to go swimming. I always waited till late at night to go swimming. We went to amusement parks. It was kind of hard sometimes to kind of squeeze myself in the rides. There was one ride that I barely fit into. My husband literally had to push down the ride just so I wouldn't be embarrassed to get off of that ride. So those are some things I was very limited to. The turning point when I thought that I had to do something from gaining weight was when I could not sit crisscross applesauce in my classroom with my children. Crisscross applesauce is when you sit with your legs crossed. We have carpet time, and when I could not get down there and it was hard for me to get up and down, that was a turning point when I needed to do something. After kind of doing some researches, and I had a friend who had surgery as well, and her surgery went well, and that kind of made me want to look more into it. And you've seen kind of like commercials and, you know, things online, and I kind of got on YouTube to see what, you know, some of the things, the surgeries that people were getting, and that's what kind of made me want to get it as well. I discussed getting the surgery with my husband, but I did not discuss it with my family members because I was afraid they would persuade me not to get the surgery, and I didn't want them to judge me neither. I did have concerns. Some of the concerns I had was, of course, dying, not losing the weight and being successful with the surgery. It's a life change. I mean, I was kind of thinking, man, am I going to ever be able to eat Doritos again? Am I going to ever be able to eat cookies again? And I like cookies and Doritos, you know what I mean? And I can still have those things. I'm just limited to those things now. There's sometimes that I want to have a cookie and I'll have a cookie, but I don't go and have like 15 cookies. I ended up with Cabell Huntington Hospital because Dr. Neese was the person who had done a surgery of a friend of mine at my church. So that's how I ended up there, is because he works at Cabell Huntington Hospital. When I first met Dr. Neese, I went to one of the seminars, and what they do is go over each and every surgery. He talks to you individually. He asks you if you have any questions, and at the end of it, come to know him and my dad went to school together. So that worked out really well too. And I was like, oh, Dr. Neese, I went to school with your niece, which is funny because Dr. Neese. And he was very nice, and he answered all the questions that you needed, and he knew exactly how to answer them to where he didn't hesitate. He made you feel very comfortable getting the surgery. I will have to say that I don't think that Dr. Neese judges a person when he first meets them on whether they could have their surgery or not. I think when you go to your appointments, appointment after appointment, is when he determines whether you're ready for that surgery or not, emotionally, physically, and you know what I mean, with your health and everything. But I don't think he just looks at you when he first meets you. I think it's after going to those appointments. I think that Dr. Neese thinks I'm ready for it because I was straightforward with him. I didn't beat around the bush with him. I didn't sugarcoat anything. And I think overall, with me not having a lot of health problems prior to the surgery, made me a good candidate for the surgery. Cabell Huntington Hospital was very great. From the time I came in, everyone was really super nice. And of course, well, at first, they was kind of like, you know, okay, our patient's here, just treat you like the normal patient. But when Dr. Neese came in, It all changed. Everybody was on their toes doing exactly what they need to do. Not that they wasn't doing what they need to do. They went above and beyond. And then when I hit recovery, everyone was super nice. I remember waking up. The lady was really nice to me, had a smile on her face, tell me everything's going to be okay. And then when I actually went to my room, the nurses I had was excellent. I mean, I'm not just saying that. They really was. Anything I needed, they was right there and took care of me. My recovery period was great. I was only in hospital for, I think, was it 2 nights? I was there, or maybe it was 1 night, I don't remember. But everything went well. Actually, when I got out of the surgery and went up to my room, I started walking immediately to help with the soreness and stuff. But my recovery was great. I didn't have any problems. The support that I get from Cabell Huntington Hospital is great. They call and check on you. Tabitha, the nurses there, all of them have been really great, really great. After my surgery, things is changing. Things is great with my husband. Really great. And I was able to like run around more. I had more energy. I wasn't like out of breath when I just walked to my car. And it's just people kind of looked at you different too. You know what I mean? You could tell they was looking at you like, what happened? You know, what's going on with her? But that kind of let me, oh my gosh, they could tell I lost weight. So that was some of the changes. At the beginning, I did not set any goals. My main thing was I wanted to just be healthy. I wanted to be able to breathe at nighttime. And also, I wanted to be able to have kids one day. Every doctor I went to told me that I was too overweight because of my height to have any kids. So I don't really set any goals for myself. It's kind of what happens. How I landed with getting the sleeve done, actually when I originally went to the seminar, my main focus was to get the lap band. I wanted to get the lap band done. I didn't want anything cut out of me. I did not want anything rearranged, and that was my initial intention, was to go and get the lap band. But as I went to the appointment with Dr. Neese, the options that I had, I actually could have got the bypass. I mean, my BMI was that high. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was high enough for me to get the bypass. But my main thing was, why did I need to get that done when I could just get the sleeve? It's just easier to get some of my stomach cut out and I get fuller instead of rearranging all my intestines. That's just how I looked at it. But I did have a lot of different options. And what made me make up my mind to get the sleeve is because I still want to have children. I want to have children. Not that you cannot have children when you get any of these surgeries, but I felt like the sleeve was more appropriate for my body. I was very confident with Dr. Neese because he knew what he was talking about, and he didn't try to cover things up. He was straightforward, and he just told you how it was with each and every surgery. He told you some of the things that can go wrong and some of the things that can go right with these surgeries. Before I had my surgery, the type of person I was very sad inside, very unhappy with myself, but the way people looked at me, I wanted them to see a happy person. So sometimes I kind of put on the front for other people, but deep down I was sad and I was not able to do a lot of things. And when I say a lot of things, it's as simple things as tying your shoes, bending over, showering yourself the proper way. Now that the person I am, which is exciting, is I can sit crisscross applesauce, and that's very important to me. I'm able to bend over and tie my shoes. I'm able to jump up and down. I mean, literally, I act crazy at work with my kids. And I'm able to walk to my car and not be out of breath. And I'm able to attend all my Zumba classes, these workout classes, and actually like to go. Some of the things that I couldn't do was actually go into, I don't want to say the normal size because there's not really a normal size. I mean, everyone's different. But I am able to go and get smaller sizes. And when you are able to go and get smaller sizes, you are able to get more clothes for cheaper prices too. I have those moments when I'm at school with my kids and I just like jump up and down. I do this silly song with them, and that's when I say all their names and I jump up and down and do it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can actually jump up and down and not be out of breath. So I do have those moments. I have a lot of those moments. I would recommend this surgery to anybody who's willing to get this surgery because it's the start of a tool to change your life. It's to get you to where you could be healthy, you could be happy, you're able to do things with your kids, you're able to get out and about, and you don't have to worry about people judging you. And it makes you feel good inside. When I first got my surgery, I didn't want to tell a lot of people because I didn't want to be judged because they think it's the easy way out. they look at you like, why did you take this route? You could have went and done Weight Watchers. You could have went and worked out. But it's not that easy. I mean, if you see my family, I have a large family. I mean, there's some large people in my family. And I think with a lot of people, it's hereditary. You know what I'm saying? It's just not something that could come off easy, because all my life, I have been very active in sports. I mean, I got a scholarship in softball, but I've always been a little bit on the heavier side. So I think that people do judge you when you get the surgery, but they don't understand that it takes more to getting the surgery. It takes you eating healthy, it takes you working out, and it takes you exercising. You can't just get the surgery and the pounds just drop off. It doesn't work that way. When I talk to people about the surgery, I try to explain to them that when you're going to hear, first of all, it's going to be a life change. It's not you just walking in here and you get the surgery and you walking out and that's it. It doesn't work that way. I mean, you got to stay on a schedule. You need, because your body has to get used to the whole process. Because I have gotten a sleeve done, and I mean, they cut out, what, 85%, 90% of my stomach is cut out. So it's kind of like, if I go, the way I explain to them, if I go and try to eat the same thing I did before, I'm going to get sick. You're going to make yourself sick. So the way I try to explain to them is this is a tool to get you on a jump start to lose weight. That's how I explain it to them. I don't sugarcoat it. I don't tell them it's going to be easy, because it's not easy. It's not always easy. It's just as hard sometimes with having this surgery as it is for me to go and try to do it the natural way, is what they say, which I don't think there's a natural way. You know what I mean? I think everyone's different. But that's how I try to explain to them the process. This is a long journey, and this is something that you have to deal with for the rest of your life. My self-esteem is great, and I'm happier. I'm not grumpy. I'm really, like, literally always happy.